So I want to talk about Trump's BBB, big beautiful bill. I'm not going to take a political stance here. That's not our game. Our takes center around the crypto element, the blockchain perspective. And in looking at the documentation for Trump's big beautiful bill, I saw a few things that may open the door, may pave the way for crypto adoption. And I'm going to tell you why. It focuses on two sections: medical and alternative energy. Now, again, I'm not going to take a stance either way because, to be quite honest, okay, I will. I'll take one. This could be one of the greatest pieces of legislation in American history. Based on my interpretation of the documentation and the information that I gathered, one of my sources I shared in the community tab. It was a 45-minute video, broke down the entire bill. It was an unbiased. As a matter of fact, it was AI generated, which is something that AI is perfect for. Unbiased takes, okay? But I'm watching that and I was able to get a comprehensive understanding of what's all in this bill. So I'm basing this take here, on the conclusions that I reached. Quite frankly, this is going to force an improvement to medical care in the United States. It will force an improvement to education in the United States. And I can also see the various ways where we'll see job growth here in the United States. Now I finally get it. Okay? I was a bit worried first, Donald. Had me nervous. But bringing it back around, the two sections that I think we could see some major crypto adoption development come out of, it's medical and alternative energies. Starting with medical. Again, based off of the research that I'd done, some of the sections in his bill attempt to address the lack of communication between healthcare systems. Because, again, a lot wrapped up in this bill is a lot of that addressing fraud within the government, wasted spending, things of that nature. Now, when we're talking about Medicare, food stamps, government assistance, let's just be honest here. We all know. All right. We got a few people in our families that do it. Okay. Despite of how much success we have made, we still got people in our families that do it. If not in your family, immediately somebody on the block, you see it every day. Okay. So there's no denying that that is a problem. What I'm focused on is the communication between the healthcare systems. Because some of you may know, my son, pride and joy of my life, he's autistic. And one of the biggest issues we have is communicating, is the healthcare programs that we have set up for him, communicating with the other healthcare programs. That's always been our problem. In his big, beautiful bill, there is a section that aims to address that. Now, this is where my focus got deeper, because there are various applications in the blockchain space that focus on bridging healthcare systems. Just recalling off the top of my head, VeChain and their My Baby application. You have XRP Healthcare running on the XRP ledger. There's a medical-based application on Algorand. There's one on Hedera. Again, forgive me for not having the names ready, but a simple Google search will show you what I'm talking about. Simply put, what I'm seeing, what I speculate, is that this added pressure on refining and improving the medical system will force people to come up with solutions. And because we know our guy is already crypto forward, he's put different people in place to manage digital assets. July 14th. Okay. That's what I'm just going to start calling it now. July 14th is when everything changes. With that, there'll be an even more attractive environment to build these particular government-based use cases. SKUX on Hedera. Remember that little section they got on their website that talks about SNAP benefits and DHS and working with the government, things like that? This is when those things begin to matter. I love observing this phenomenon in crypto where a lot of applications will hit the market way before the problem arises. That's the sort of a situation that we have here. Now, on the other side of this, potentially having a much greater impact, a more immediate impact, is his approach towards renewable energies. Okay. In particular, its impact on the electric vehicle market. I'm hearing all of the funds, all the lifelines for the electric vehicle phenomenon is about to be cut. And they're getting cut before the end of the year. That is going to have a dramatic impact on a lot of assets that we have covered in the past. And here it comes. I'm about to say it. Energy Web Token. All right. Now, the only out would be geothermal, because geothermal has been studied and proven to be, quite useful in the mining of Bitcoin. And with us approaching less than 1 million Bitcoin to be mined, there will be a mining race. Best believe me when I tell you this. But the only out is geothermal. On the other side, I think this is going to have sweeping impacts throughout the space because of how many projects have developed eco-friendly or green projects in the last 5 years, following the guise of sustainable development goals passed down from the UN, promoted by the World Economic Forum. Energy Web Token, VeChain, Power Ledger, Hedera. Honestly, Hedera has Dovu. They have so many eco-friendly initiatives, right? And applications that were in development. I see all of that being shut down immediately, right? Immediately. With the exception of systems, software systems that will help manage distributed energy resources. So let's turn that around a little bit, because you have to understand what an asset like Energy Web does. It provides a decentralized operating system for energy suppliers. And if we're changing the game from EVs and solar back to coal, nuclear, geothermal, and things like that, will still be a need for distributed energy resource management. So in that sense, there's an out. On the other side, though, the problem is so many of these applications, they were leaning heavily into the EV, into the solar, into the hydro. I am concerned about how long it'll take to backtrack, refine, and retool the strategy for some of these assets. So, to answer the question, Trump's big, beautiful bill, is it good for the crypto space? I'm going to say yes and no. I will say it opens doors for crypto, and it also shuts doors for crypto. This big, beautiful bill has the same impact on the crypto space that it is having on the American people. Some of them agree with it. Others are about ready to leave the country because of it. Either way, guys, this was bound to happen, in my opinion. And there was no other way to get around it. But to truly wrap up my point here, if it is going to be a good situation for crypto, what should we do? I think we should look for assets or applications that will, one, bridge medical systems. That is going to be a hot commodity, because we all know these healthcare systems, they have a major problem with communicating with each other. This is obvious. So there will be a need to solve that problem. And then you also have to look at the geothermal, Bitcoin mining, and the management of energy resources. The management of energy resources are now going to be the new hot ticket. It won't just be EV or solar charging stations around the country. No, we're redefining our energy sources, which will make energy resource management paramount. I didn't expect this to turn into a positive story for Energy Web Token, but that's the only asset in this market that I know specializes in those things. Now, as far as those other green related applications, the carbon credits and what V better is essentially where they have you completing certain tasks that are good for the environment, recycling, throwing away trash. I am concerned also about the ripple effect it'll have on the behavioral changes and the behavioral progress that has been made towards the green movement. Thinking about that as well, because that'll also impact the rate of adoption and the rate of use of applications of that nature. So a lot of things are going to get shaken up. My advice: move with conviction, stick to your research, because this was all going to happen anyway. Thanks to the G20, baby. This was all going to happen anyway.